Alright, we have a new chapter of Sangatsu no Lion. The last one was strange and comedic, looking at Rei-chan and Hina-chan's school lives. Rei, of course, stuck teaching a bunch of geezers how to play shogi in a smoke-filled room, and Hina enjoying the fullness of the spring of her youth, making handicrafts with her beloved best friend. And Kiriyama, of course, overjoyed and happy for her, but still feeling perhaps a little melancholy, a little lonely, a little disappointed with the whole situation. So this next one is called Lunch Break, which to me suggests we're going to continue this kind of exploration of their school lives. We're not jumping right back into another like major shogi arc or anything like that. So that'll be interesting. A little bit of a change of pace. We've had these little catch-ups with what their lifestyles are like before, but um, I think to have multiple chapters kind of getting into this is sort of unprecedented. Here we see the black and white version of Momo-chan and her bird friends. Very cute. And a cute little cat. Oh my gosh, so cute. This is the one that looks kind of like an owl. I don't remember their names though. I want a cat. Neko ga hashi. Neko ga hoshi. What? Congratulations. If you alone throw away your life, then all of the other people in this world shall be saved. What is this? Christianity? What? What's going on here? Kiriyama Jesus? What? Rejoice, chosen one. Come tomorrow, you shall be a hero for all time. These sure look like Roman centaurs? Centurions? Yes, that's the word I want. Roman centaurs. And Kiriyama dressed up in robes? What in the world? This is definitely like a dream sequence, but this is a weird dream sequence for this series. This is not really like anything else in the series before. Whoa, what in the world? This feels like an Inio Asano segment. You know, like laden with some dark symbolism that only in retrospect will we understand the pure horror of. What is that? It's that black hole like giant slug thing coming this way. I see. So if I'm sacrificed, then it'll disappear. What in the world? This is so far outside of what I expected. And it's like, yeah, again, an ancient Roman town. We can see kind of a Colosseum here on the left. And some ionic pillars, I believe. What in the heck? And there's like people looking up at him too, which sort of adds another clue of kind of what the townsfolk understand of this. Their quiet onlooking signals approval. Okay, well, I'm not sure I get it, but I'm supposed to jump in there, right? And here there's like a cross and a sword and 3 flowers. So the cross, again, as I thought, this is quite a Christian-esque allegory. One person sacrificing themselves to make good for the sins of all the world. The sword is more confusing. The 3 flowers, perhaps the 3 sisters? Akari, Hina, and Momo? Maybe? But then if we're taking that sort of symbolic reading, then what do the sword and the cross represent then? What does the sword represent at all? Shogi? What? The ceremony will take place tomorrow morning. Put your affairs in order by then. Put my affairs in order by tomorrow morning. That's all the time I have. What should I do? Shoved back into presumably his house, which indeed does look like Kiriyama's house in real life, in that there's almost nothing there, just kind of the necessities. It's not really that much, but this is the money I've worked hard to earn since I was a kid. It'll just be confiscated if I die anyhow, right? Why not? So, This is actually, to me, this is how dreams often work when I have a dream. That there's actually a period of confusion at first. You recognize things are wrong. You recognize that this isn't your normal life. But then you just sort of seamlessly segue into believing everything to be true and then somehow like knowing things about this untruth, knowing like the history of your dream self and the history of this dream scenario, and actually having like memories within the dream, even full on like flashbacks that sometimes kind of take over the dream, or at least the kind of internal monologue recall of such things. Uh, so this seems to be what's happening to Kiriyama because at first he seemed to have no clue what was going on. Not that he made life references to real life, like, "Hey, I'm just a pro shogi player. Shouldn't I be in high school? Why is it ancient Rome times? Isn't this Japan?" He didn't say anything like that, but I kind of got the feeling that that's what was going through his head at first. But now he's remembering the money that he earned to work. This is really cool. I've never actually seen this dynamic like illustrated in a dream sequence before. And yet I feel like a lot of my dreams actually do play out this way. So this is very interesting. Um, Again, I can only try to make analogies. Like I can only assume that we're seeing all of this because it's somehow symbolic for his real life. So the money that he made, like playing shogi, of course, right? Like this is again, but what does it mean? So he throws it out to the townspeople. The wind snatches it away. Oh, oh, I see. Oh no, that way. Don't go over there. I wanted that money to go for to troubled elders and kids, people that are taking care of people weaker than themselves, and most of all to the people who are important to me. God damn it, what am I doing? Oh my gosh, if this how oh my gosh. If this is analogous, then what is the scenario that he's dreaming about here? Do you think it's like a prophetic dream? That feels a little hacky for this manga. I think it's more that like something has happened. We're seeing a dream that Kiriyama had after that thing happened. And now we're going to try to understand how he's feeling about whatever this event was through the context of this dream. These shots though are so haunting when Kiriyama thinks of who he'd like the money to go to. This person ordering someone around seems to have no real life analogy. There's no one this really reminds me of, which is a good thing. That greed and selfishness and stuff we can't really match up with the main series. This old man hunched over. I can only think of Sakuchan. I can only think of the shogi maestro bent over his board like that. You know, it has the same sheer physical conveyance of age. It has that same. Hey, he has glasses still. Aren't people like, what the heck is that on your face? Okay, it doesn't matter. Sorry. Yeah, this I connect with Saku-chan. The people that are taking care of people weaker than themselves, I thought at first would be Akari, but Akari appears in the next one with Hina and Momo. And this is obviously Hina and Momo and Akari. Like that one's much more clear than the other ones, and analogously, this one of the women giving a cup of water or something to the two children. The one kid kind of looks like Ray, and the other kid kind of looks like his sister, whose name I forgot. Kyoko. Kyoko. A little bit. She kind of has the same sharpness, and it looks sort of like the attitude that Kyoko has. And you might think that I'm insane for reading into it too much, but come on, you know I will. And then the cats, of course, remind me of Akari. So I don't know. I don't know. Outside of if it wasn't for the sisters, then I would assume that these are all much more abstract metaphors. Oops. What? Okay. All right. We went to the next page for a second and I freaked out. But because there's the sisters, I thought there would be a clear counterpart for the rest of them, but not really. So I guess it's because like those are the people important to him. So he thinks of specific people, and then everyone else he's just sort of thinking vaguely. At any rate, Kiriyama was relaying the dream to his teacher. Okay. At first, okay, so I briefly saw this page because I clicked accidentally when I was grabbing my mouse, and I thought it would be like a super fake out where this is like something that his teacher was like suggesting to him as like a story to read or something. And Kiriyama would be like, no, 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 that has nothing to do with me. I don't know. I don't know. It's much more interesting this way. So he has this dream a lot. And he's thinking to himself, God damn it, what am I doing? And this is something that he said to himself like many times before. In any situation where he's like losing, either losing frequently in shogi or just kind of losing grip on what's kind of happening, and anytime that things are happening to other people, people he cares about, this is kind of the feeling he has, if not those exact words. So what am I doing? What am I doing? You know? And it's like, it's a pretty scary feeling. It's much more scary than the feeling where you're trying your best and you're very clearly doing the thing that could solve the problem, but you just can't. Like the problem is just insurmountable, or you're just not powerful enough, or whatever. That one feels nowhere near as bad as this one, where it's just like, wait, like what have I been doing? Like what have I been doing up till now? Like, okay, okay. I wish I hadn't asked. Cool story, bro. Come on, sensei. Have a heart. All I was asking was, do people with good memories remember their dreams and that sort of thing? That's all. Why am I always having dreams like this? You say that dreams are the manifestation of the unconscious, right? I wonder if I can figure out anything out. I wonder if I can figure anything out if I do some research. I was thinking about reading some books on it. I don't have a great understanding of the subject, but I think the guy's name was Freud. Okay. Let's have a little, oh my gosh, this is another long tangent. We've already spent a long time talking about this chapter, but let's have a quick little dream seminar. So Freud thought that, yeah, you have a gigantic pool of your subconscious wants and desires, your kind of animalistic id that is running rampant, quite rampant indeed, underneath this thin veneer of your ego and your superego, that is how you self-identify and kind of the person you wish to be, that you feel like your ego striving towards your superego and trying to repress your id, um, and that when you dream, your id has free real estate, is free to show you what you truly want, what you're truly thinking about, what you're truly feeling, and that dreams thus are very revealing, and that Freud would do a lot of dream analysis and say, oh, you dream about that, that's just sort of the dream representation of a deep desire to dress up like a dog. Oh, this is your manifestation of a deep desire to quit your job and move to the Bahamas. So on and so forth, right? Trying to like map. Then we have like kind of the Jungian understanding of dreams, which has to do with like a collective self-consciousness, tapping into your archetypes. I think all of this is kind of bunk. I mean, I feel like Freud gets too bad a rap these days because many of his theories are complete bunk. But many of his theories, I think, are still very insightful and very interesting, and kind of the framework for how you go about doing psychoanalysis and stuff, I think he deserves a whole lot of credit for establishing. And that I think really some Freudian ideas are quite interesting, like the id and the ego and the superego. I really do personally feel like I can feel that struggle within my body. Um, Anyways, Jungian, no. Again, very interesting, but no. The actual meaning and purpose of dreams is still quite hotly debated. But we're far past Freudian ideas of these are like your repressed desires, and secretly it shows that you want to have sex with whoever. Um, so I hope that Kiriyama doesn't get caught up on Freudian interpretations of his dreams and end up thinking that he's a lunatic. At the same time, though, if it seems like Umino is a Freudist and she's into Freud, then we can only assume that a Freudian reading of Kiriyama's dream will actually prove to be more accurate than a more accurate reading of his dream. To me, my theory is that dreams are quite old and ancient. We know that a lot of other mammals dream. There's pretty compelling evidence of that. So it's something that we've been doing much longer than we've had the social structures that we have, or the language that we have, or even kind of the ability to think complex thoughts as we have. Um, and so I think it must be something a lot more simple. I think it's a means of reinforcing associative thinking and kind of making associations. What I find that I dream about mostly is something that I haven't encountered in a while, but then I had some trigger that made me think of it, remember it briefly, not necessarily like dwell on it for a while, but just something to kind of put it back in my head for a second. Um, and so what I think it is like imagine you're like a dog and you have this gigantic mapping in your mind of what everything means. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this edible? Is this run from this? Whatever. Let's say as a little pup, you encounter a mountain lion. This, of course, is terrifying. Uh, Luckily, through the skin of your teeth, you survive. And then for years of your life, you don't encounter a mountain lion. Then one day, you catch a whiff of the mountain lion, but because you only have this one episode in your mind, oh, sorry, episode is definitely not the word to use. You only have this one association in your mind, and it's very old and unclear. Your brain might not actually have a strong mapping yet that would make you think, oh, I should get away from this smell, you know? But then maybe that night you have a dream about a mountain lion, right? It's a way for the brain to rebuild these associations by replaying these scenes, by taking one thing that associates with like a bunch of other things and having this full hallucinatory experience. You have the smell, and consciously in your waking mind, you might not be able to map it to mountain lion, but then in the dream, like it all comes together and you form the proper association. And then when you wake up, you run the opposite direction of the smell. This is to me the purpose of dreams. This is my theory. Training. It's training basically. Okay, anyways, sorry. Huge tangent. Let's get back to it. Comes to Dr. Freud. I'm always afraid that everything's a sexual metaphor. I don't understand Freud that much. Okay, so I guess we're not doing a Freudian reading. My dream had all that stuff in it. Sacrifice and throwing money around. No, please don't research it. It'll fall into the central dogma of youth. That's a good little Evangelion joke. The central dogma of youth. Oh my gosh. Wait, is that even a reference? Or is that just actually talking about dogma, that Kiriyama will accumulate too much dogma? Well, whatever. Got rank deciding matches starting. There's some things it's better not to probe into. That's what me, your sensei, thinks. But Kiriyama is your sensei too in shogi. You have equal footing here. Anyhow, you're still alone, aren't you? Even after 3 years. I'm not alone. You hear, don't I, sensei? Oh, it's so sad, their relationship. It's like every time one of them gets something sincerely from it, the other one just undercuts it. It's just the constant back and forth of, I think they're both quite lonely people in their own ways. Friends you'd finally made graduated. So we got some new members for the Shogi Club, though. Those old men. Hold on a sec. There's some sorting out about that I'd like to do. Uh-oh. Has the school finally decided to listen to its own rules? Have the old men in the Shogi Club? Has the principal, here's what I bet it is. The principal finally lost the vice principal. And he's like, you know what? This shouldn't be a club to begin with. He gets all huffy, doesn't want to lose anymore. Decides, hey, wait a minute. A club is supposed to have student members, not faculty members. And then disbands it. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? This is a whole other thing. Shogi Club. Day of the spring tryouts. All these guys looking at Hina-chan think she's pretty cute. This guy in the same class is like, oh, you want to join the Shogi Club too, huh? She's like, I don't know yet. If you want, I can teach you. I'll join with you. This guy's obviously trying to like hit on her. Kiriyama kind of seems to know what's up because he's like blushing and laughing. I have no idea how to read what Kiriyama is thinking right now. How about a game? Whoa! Oh my god! Whoa! Oh my god! Is this the first appearance of truly carnivorous Kiriyama? Is Kiriyama actually jealous? Oh my god! Is that what's happening here? Whoa! 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 Kiriyama! This is so far outside my expectations. Because he actually didn't. So, first off, this is something I've never seen before. Kiriyama acting overly nice and friendly to hide the hidden mischievous and anger. And then pretending this whole faux game where he just, of course, demolishes this loser, acting like it was a skill check. This is like shockingly outside of character. And yes, it is his fault. The fact that we've got no new members is your fault, right? Oh my god. What has brought this out in him? I can only think it's Hina-chan. As much as I feel conflicted, well, not conflicted, as much as I don't know what I want, I guess. As I said before, what I want is what Umino Sensei wants. She wants to write Kiriyama Hina romance. I'm all for it. If she doesn't, I'm all for it. But this is a weird feeling for me. Usually I'm very opinionated about what I want. So, oh gosh, I don't know. But I can only, oh my gosh, I can only read it like that. I have a point. But you're eating alone, same as usual. You don't seem uncomfortable the way you usually do. At the very least, you're not reading magazines about changing jobs anymore. Oh god. Yeah, that was a pretty rough time. This is another strength of this series is, and this is like so real too. The moments that were like that emotional, these really tough times in Kiriyama's life, they can go back and laugh at. Not just the characters, but the reader too is encouraged to kind of laugh. And it's the distance of time and it's the distance of memory, right? Isn't that so real? Isn't that just like in real life? You end up laughing about things like that. At least I do. So, yeah, I don't know. It seems, I don't know. It's not such a crazy concept when you think about it, but I feel like this is done in manga quite rarely. That you go back and laugh at a previous situation. It's not like in One Piece they're making jokes about their boat burning, right? Like, of course they wouldn't. I don't know. But it feels good. The view, good view, huh? Isn't that Hina-chan? Oh my gosh, Hina's just ridiculously cute. These shots are so wonderful. She's so happy now. That's right. They've been eating there a lot lately. Kiriyama, do you hear what every day looking at Hina-chan alone without ever talking to her? Isn't that a little weird? Can't you just call out to her and eat together? I don't need to do that. It'd be weird for me to be mixing with fishy girls. Not to point at people with your chopsticks. I really like. Okay, this is like this is more the Kiriyama I know and love. When he gets flustered, he gets like he'll attack a tangential petty point. He's done this several times, usually with Nikaido. That if Nikaido seems to have a good point against him, or even if he doesn't, if Nikaido is just making him argue, he'll throw in some other, like, don't you know that following me to my house is bad manners anyways? You know, things like that. It's fine, you look weird enough already. I am worried about it. You've got a chance to graduate from being the solitary gourmet. I don't mind, I actually think it's cool. Wait, solitary gourmet is a reference to the ongoing manga Kodoku no Gourmet. Oh, okay. Well, cool. We learned a little bit about Kiriyama's taste, so I'm going to look this up immediately. I've never heard of Kiriyama reading something before. Oh, I think I've heard of this, actually. Yeah, I've heard of this. I thought this would be like, I don't know, something that would run in the same magazine as Sangatsu no Lion. But yeah, this is like a very adult manga. Yeah, I've heard of this. Ooh, looks good. All right, added to plan to read. which has like over 100 manga on it. Kind of feel like it's enough. My stomach's full. Hina-chan is laughing and eating lunch with her friend at school. Just getting to see that is... When I told Akari-san about how Hina-chan is doing, she cried and said how happy it made her. Look at Grandpa. He's so happy. Okay, like, the subtlety of expressions in this series. I swear to God. Normally he grins a little different. Normally he grins just a little different. Okay? When he's boastfully grinning, when he's cheekily grinning, when he's teasing someone and grinning, so on and so forth. Here he's clearly holding back tears and grinning. It's such a happiness of relief. He's so relieved that Hina is doing well. And so am I. Oh my god. That arc just broke me for a while. If there was, for some reason, I had just read the beginning of the Hina bullying arc and not the end, I think I would just be a broken human being for a long, long time. But now we're really, really on the other side of it now. See, I get it, Kiriyama. But Kiriyama, is that really enough? I'm worried, I really am. What's the deal with her? It's like you're her guardian or something. If you place yourself in that position now and somebody else nabs her, statistically, it's the end for you. I know it feels like you're close from that guardian position, but you're actually really far away, I'm telling you. I wonder if Sensei's speaking from experience here. Because I think Sensei is not in a relationship or anything. Oh my god, he's just asking. Oh my god, oh my god. Because Sensei has always been under the impression that Kiriyama likes Hina-chan, right? And he thinks he's confirmed it because he asks something like, is Hina-chan someone special to you? And Kiriyama was like, yeah, of course. Of course, yeah, obviously. Why do you think I'm doing all this? And he was like, oh, doki doki. But now it's actually being confronted. Oh, wait, no, he's just thinking this. Oh, it would be very funny if he asked. Got a crush on Hina-chan, don't you? I mean, does he? I don't even know. I don't think Kiriyama thinks in that way. I think he's kind of a romantic. I don't know. I don't know what I want to be true. It's like I feel so emotional about this character. Like Kiriyama is just one of my favorite characters in fiction, period. I'll say so. I truly feel what I would describe as a deep love for him. So it's like I genuinely don't know what I want from him as a character. I don't know what I want in terms of how I think the story should develop. And at the same time, like, as I said, I just want what the mangaka wants. I want the mangaka to write the manga she wants to make. And of course she will. So it's like, why am I getting so worked up? Well, I'll tell you why I'm getting so worked up. It's because I care about the character so much. Here's a Kiriyama. Oh, that guy is the guy that came to try out the club. Oh my god, and Kiriyama stands up. What is he going to do? It's gonna look so weird and stalkerish if he just runs down there and they're like, how did you even know this was happening? And he's like, oh, you know, up at the roof. That's where I was eating lunch. Kiriyama, what are you doing? Rei-kun, what are you doing? Okay, what is he doing? It's something about this guy specifically that really pisses him off. I feel like more than jealousy, he thinks that this guy is trying to like bully Hina. I think that's what it is. That he's just so used to being alone that he can only kind of recognize clear, obvious friendship. And this more like flirtatious, plausible deniability, paying attention to, that doesn't kind of have the aura of friendship as Kiriyama recognizes it, he's like maybe just totally misreading this guy's intentions and thinks that Hina's like possibly gonna get bullied. Uh-oh, I have something I really need to talk to Hina-chan about. Uh-oh, I'm gonna be good. That's the worst excuse I've ever heard. He's actually really fast. That's really not mature, Kiriyama. How can he be that petty? Oh my, what is he doing? This is absurd. Oh my gosh, what is this scene? Okay, what are the other times that Kiriyama has run anywhere? When he was looking for Hina in Kyoto, that was a good one. That was quite wonderful. And then there was the time when he beat someone. He beat that alcoholic guy who had the present for his kids. Do you remember? And Kiriyama was so frustrated with this, with Kyoko being like, if he loses, he's gonna get demoted. Wouldn't it be nice if Daddy came home a victor? Blah blah blah, trying to guilt him because she's an asshole. Um, and Kiriyama is so frustrated by this guy. Is so frustrated with how he behaved during the match in the postmortem, and how he seemed to kind of be resigned, and how Kiriyama was forced to be the bad guy. You remember? And Kiriyama sprints out of the shogi hall and runs and runs and runs until he's exhausted, and then just starts screaming about, how is that fair to me? Why don't you just try harder? Don't you understand that you have to be good to do this? Like, so on and so forth. Oh my god, what a powerful moment. One of my favorite moments in the series. Okay, those are the only other two times he ran. Both of them big dramatic moments. And now he's just so petty. I don't understand. Oh, well, I guess that's okay. He's better off that way anyhow. Compared to seeing him helpless, like he's about to fall to pieces, seeing him baring his teeth like that and running like that. It's so true. It's so true. He's out running there. What the hell? Oh, it's so true. That is actually 100 times better, isn't it? 100,000 times better. First year's backing off. What are you gonna do, Kiriyama? First year sat down. What about Kiriyama? He sat down too. This is insane. This is like the fact that we're only seeing Sensei's perspective. We're not seeing what Kiriyama is actually saying and hearing and stuff. It's crazy. That's like very out of character for the series. What do you think is happening? I have no idea actually. It looks like he ran down here. Who knows what he said to justify him running down here? Clearly they probably saw him running across the field, or he's out of breath, or something indicates that he got here ASAP. And then he says something, I don't know. This guy was probably like, oh, I just wanted to eat with these girls. Oh, he's got a bento. He's got a nice, looks like a homemade bento. And Kiriyama, of course, just has a variety of convenience store selections. A man of my tastes. And then, so Kiriyama is like, well, I'm just going to eat here too then. Now they're eating. They're all eating lunch together. You really did it, Kiriyama. Your dream came true. What? Your dream came true? Hold on. So, the analogy was Kiriyama was standing on the school roof and throwing away all the social capital that he had accumulated, even though it wasn't much. He worked hard to get it. And um, I'm confused. I don't understand how this has anything to do with his dream. I think Sensei's talking about what he perceives to be Kiriyama's waking dreams, his waking romantic ambitions, or whatever. Of course, this is just Sensei's guess. So, oh my god. Alright, what in the world? What will the blog even be about this time? Oh, school shogi. Right, of course. I was like, was there even shogi in this chapter? But there was the little incident in the shogi club tryouts. And when they say tryouts, that means like students coming to check out the club. It's not like they actually had to try out and compete to make it into the shogi club. Just in case that wasn't clear to anybody. I'm almost certain that's what that means. When you think of students, you think of campus life, the era of praising youth, going to the beach, to the mountains, mixers, and flirtings. I guess I'm a bit old-fashioned, but I think it's a time where you're actively fulfilling schoolwork and enjoying yourself. Lots of college students who love shogi, and to them playing shogi equals enjoying themselves. Most colleges have a shogi club. They have tournaments where club members can come to play one another. My student days, I played shogi all the time, and now I kind of regret it and wish I had spent more of my youth out enjoying myself. And something that's surprising to me is that for a lot of them, expectedly young, mostly boys, shogi is their youth. This is really interesting to me. And it's something we've talked a little bit before in the series about, like, it's interesting in a series that gets so into the competitive game of choice and of the competition and of the lives of the competitors to not just consistently lionize the game, to talk about how this is the best, most fulfilling thing you can do with your life, but to give something much more measured, much more gray. Very few series I can think of do. Do you think in Haikyuu, I don't know, I haven't read or watched Haikyuu, but do you think I, I guess this is an open question, but I certainly think the answer to this question is no. Do you think that in Haikyuu they sit around and go like, are we just wasting our youth playing volleyball? Is there something more that we could be doing with our time? Something we're going to look back at more fondly? Isn't it kind of like degenerate to be playing this much volleyball? I doubt they're asking that. Very few series actually start addressing these questions within them. Another one I can think of is ping pong, of course. That's one of the shots that completely made that series for me is when they ask Smile if he's going to go pro in ping pong or something. No, no, no. I think he like overhears a conversation about pro ping pong players or something. And he goes, "Isn't that kind of creepy to make your living playing ping pong and to devote your whole life to ping pong? Isn't that a little weird?" And I remember just being like, "Whoa, like you're going to say that in this series?" But yeah, I don't know. It's always interesting to me when pro players in some game kind of look back at their whole career, at all the time they spent on that game, and they kind of say something in this sort of space. I can remember an article I read, an interview with a pro mahjong player. This had been translated and posted somewhere. I almost think Fukumoto Crazy released it. And the pro mahjong player said, "Your life passes so quickly when you play mahjong." I think they had asked him, like, what advice do you have for people who aspire to be a pro mahjong player? And he was like, don't. Your life passes so quickly when you play mahjong. And I thought that like has haunted me ever since. Anyways, okay. Talking about college tournaments. Yeah, I kind of regret it and wish I'd spent more of my youth out enjoying myself. Yeah, that's so amazing for someone at this level of pro to admit in a column like this, in a series about spending your youth playing shogi. Like it's just so. I don't know. I can't speak to it. I just can't. It's too much. We're talking about people's entire lives here. We're talking about these phases of your life that you just look back on throughout the entire rest of your life. We're talking about entire chapters of the only life that people get. Okay. Talking about crew battles, Kansai region. By the way, there are a lot of active pro players, male and female, as well as the members of the whatever. This is like the inside school, like in Hikaru no Go, the semi-pro, like you training camp type place. Also active college students, but they can't appear in their college's major tournaments. Right, right. Depending on the person, they mingle a lot. Before there's a lot of men, recently the number of women has increased. That's cool. I've been reading a lot about this 10-year-old girl who's like a Go prodigy and is beating professional Go players. It's so crazy. Anyways, you should check it out. Apparently more women are playing the game as a result of this manga as well. Wow. Surprisingly, a lot of women who play shogi intensely in high school that quit when they got to college. And for that reason, Kiriyama, no! On the spring tryout day when girls came out, they got berated with harsh language. You really shouldn't do this. I was a little disappointed with Kiriyama. Even though he's like top 3 most beloved fictional characters for me, probably. So a little disappointed with Kiriyama when he bullied that guy. And incidentally bullied a bunch of other people out of joining the Shogi Club too. He was tunnel visioned. He was too short-sighted. What was he saying? Beginners need to be treated with kindness. Yes, that's the duty of the strong players. If I was Kiriyama-senpai, I'd be giving him a stern lecture. Me too. This is something we really have to be aware of in Melee and Smash Bros. Clubs that play Melee. That it's very, very easy to just hopelessly demolish someone at that game. The skill levels are so stratified. Someone who's a true beginner not only doesn't stand a chance to win, but will just have the most like demolishing, unforgettable, you have nightmares about them combos done to them over and over again. And for a while my attitude was like, well, that's Melee. If you don't enjoy that process, if your response isn't like, whoa, cool, like I can't believe how good that person is, then you're not going to get good, period. And like, you're better off just staying home because that's going to happen to you like over and over again. But now I've changed my perspective a bit because not everybody needs to get good. Not everybody needs to like stop going 0-2 in bracket. You can be a lifer 0-2er and still have a fun time playing the game, a fun time hanging out, a fun time learning about the game, improving in small ways, but having fun as the primary goal, not improving. So now it's like, okay, well, what's going to be the most fun for this person? You try to feel it out with them. Like some people really do just want to get wrecked and they want to get better. Some people just want to get wrecked because they think that's cool and fun. Some people, though, would prefer a lower key environment and to play against other players of their skill level and not just get humiliated and dunked on by whatever pro player in the area is killing time. And I think that should be facilitated now. It's kind of hard to do so, but that's how the kindness, with an appropriate kindness. To all the men out there, when women are just starting out, let's lose to them 10 or 20 times. Your opponent will know you're going easy on them, and learn that the better you are, the kinder you can be to weaker players. Now, I mean, I don't think this needs to be drawn on gender lines, of course. At the same time, though, I do think that there's a lot of value in trying to overcome kind of stigma against women playing games like shogi and chess and stuff with things like women-only tournaments and stuff. I think that's all fine, and probably does have a good effect on bringing women more relatively into these communities, lowering the intimidation barrier. But I don't think there needs to be, for types of policies like this, I don't think they need to be drawn on gender lines, but just beginner lines. Lose to beginners. Yeah. I love this line. The better you are, the kinder you can be to weaker players. That's wonderful. What a wonderful perspective. How broadly applicable is that? That in any situation where you're powerful, where you're strong, where you have the control and the agency, that really enables you not just to win so decisively, but to show an equally decisive and powerful level of kindness and understanding and consideration and connection. Anyways, at any case, there is a unique energy, a unique heat in college shogi clubs. For most of them, once they become working adults, they get chased away by work and tend not to be able to play shogi much anymore. So I think their feeling is they want to get as much of it in while they can. Shogi is youth. From the perspective of a pro shogi player, I really am jealous. Alright, another amazing chapter, another amazing blog post. I cannot tell you how much I love this series, and we will continue making long-ass videos talking about it and talking about Freud and other junk when we need to. I hope you'll indulge me in them. Not very many people are watching these, but I don't care. Whoever you are that is watching them, I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.